Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Chem Samples, handyman, and sometimes air conditioning repairman. Of course, I've got this unit as an evaporator that came out of a rental house. It's probably 30 years old. It's an old capillary tube system. What was going on, I want to show you this is the kind of, this was over here, but anyway, it's pretty well rusted out. But what happened, it kept freezing up. And so after I looked at it, I said, you know, I'm going to put a brand new evaporator in. So I went ahead and put a new evaporator in, and it continued to freeze up. The air would, you turn it on, it's had a piston system in it. Got it all hooked up. You know, I vacuumed the lines, put the Freon back in, did everything like you're supposed to, but it continued to freeze up. And I kept thinking, well, what could it be? And of course, you know, there's what, 8 or 9 things. Vents could be closed. We checked all the vents. Low refrigeration. I checked the charge. The charge was fine. Dirty filter. Wasn't a dirty filter. Insufficient fan speed. The fan was working when you turned it on. Refrigerator leak. Wasn't a leak. The blower wasn't working, but the blower was working. It wasn't too cold out, so it wasn't because it was too cold out. We were turning it down. Dirty evaporator. The evaporator, of course, was old, but the new one's brand new, so it's not a dirty evaporator. So the piston could have been plugged, the metering device, but I put a new dryer in it, so it couldn't have been that. So what was going on? This is in a rental property. So I would check the air, blowing out cold, looking good, then I would leave. And then a couple hours later they would call me and said it's freezing up again. So I went back over and looked at it, and you know, everything was working like it was supposed to. Went up and checked the high pressure and the suction pressure, and it was freezing up again. So I had a buddy of mine, a service tech, that does more air conditioner work than I do. He's been doing it for 30, 35 years. He checked all the pressures, watched the gauges, and then all of a sudden the gauges were perfect, and then they started going down, freezing up. So he was perplexed, had a hard time trying to figure it out. We went back up in the attic, looked at the system, and as he was looking at the system, he was listening for the piston, and he said, well, maybe the piston's clogged up. And I thought, well, it could be, but I put that brand new dryer right in front of it, so it shouldn't be. And then all of a sudden he said, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what? And he said, the blower's not working. The blower had stopped. So he checked the control on the circuit board. It wasn't the circuit board. So here's what the problem is. The thermostat. So we had a problem with the thermostat. The thermostat would kick it on, it would work, and then it would quit working. So here's the old thermostat. This is a Honeywell, and it's a spring tension thermostat. Anyway, put a brand new thermostat on it, a $25 cheapo thermostat, and works perfect now. So when you have something freezing up like this, and especially when it's a rental property, so you're not really there, it's kind of harder to figure out. If you lived in the property, you probably would have noticed that the fan had quit running. Probably. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, this is what the problem was. Change this out, and working fine now. So have a blessed day. Hopefully if something like this happens to you, watch for this, the blower working, and you won't have quite as much problem. This evaporator may have lasted a couple of more years, but as you can see, it was pretty well rusted out in the bottom, so it was definitely leaking, so it probably was time to change. Got probably 30 years out of it. So anyway, have a blessed day. Keep walking with Jesus. See you on the next video.